downtown Boulder. We talking about the last week of Buffs football, the game last night. Want to get you guys' reactions. Let me get my chat working here. All right. So we're just going to be walking around Boulder because part of what I want to do on this channel is show all of the Buffs fans around the world, because we really have an international fan base, as we've seen on these last few live streams. We've got literally people all over the world, and we have people who used to go to CU that like seeing what the city is looking like now. We've got recruits that want to see what the city looks like. So we're gonna walk around, show you guys, and talk Buffs. While I am walking around, I try my best to see what you guys are saying in the chat, but sometimes it's hard to see them go by while I'm also looking around and paying attention while I'm walking. So where are you guys tuning in from tonight? This is the Pearl Street Mall, by the way. If you want to look it up on Google, it is the Pearl Street Mall. And I definitely want to get into, I'm glad my prediction for the game was 42-21 CU, so not super far off, but I definitely think it could have been that. I think it could have been higher than 42, and Cincinnati could have been held to 14. So another good game in the sense that the team was not firing on all cylinders, and they still had a dominating performance. But that pass interference call against Preston Hodge, it still has me heated. Let me know in the chat what you guys think. Was that call on Preston Hodge, was that legit? Or let me know your thoughts. I want to talk about it. I want to talk about that call, and then I want to talk about the Will Shepherd call. I'm not seeing anything in the chat, so you guys gotta let me know if you're with me. Let me know if you want to talk, what you want to talk about the game. We go down that way in a little bit. That's towards campus. We're gonna go up on the hill. I'm gonna show you guys the college area of town. I just figured I'll show you a little bit of the Pearl Street Mall.
Boulder tour?
Yeah, educator, tell me what you think about that Preston Hodge call. It's still got my blood boiling because with the pass interference and holding being non-reviewable calls, if you're gonna have shenanigans related to betting, related to anything that people who could influence the game might be up to, you're gonna see it on the holding and the pass interference calls, the things that can't be reviewed. They're totally subjective, and I mean, every interception on a DB's stat sheet goes towards their draft stock. So you're taking money. You're taking money out of Preston Hodges' pocket. I mean, I might be feeling too extreme because I'm biased. However, I want to know what you guys think. And here's another stat. Penalty yardage for both teams was about 69 yards. So, but Cincinnati had 9 penalties and CU had 5. So we had like half the penalties they did, but the same amount of penalty yardage. And the Preston Hodge call, for instance, I don't know, he had like a 30, 35, 40-yard return. And you guys see what Shedeur and the offense was doing in that part of the game, you know, versus that call, Cincinnati then scores on the next play. So just crazy momentum calls that affect the game in a major way, where when you watch the replay, you're like, where is the pass interference? Oh, yes, Jimmy Horn throwing up the peace sign. Thank you. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Noel one, Feking. Jimmy, man, and I love Jimmy. Jimmy's such a good dude. And like throwing up the peace sign, like I could see if he flicked the dude off, you know, or if he made some kind of like gesture you don't want kids to see, but he gave him the peace sign. Like, this is sports. This is sports. These kids are at the peak of the adrenaline and, you know, energy and hormones and all that they're going to feel in their life. They have millions of people watching them. He's burning an entire team, just showing his speed to the world, and he throws up the peace sign, and you take a touchdown from that man. Like, I need like a members only uncensored channel, because I have to start editing myself, because I want to start saying words that'll get us demonetized and all that kind of stuff. So I got to bite my tongue. But yeah, Hodge played with a chip on his shoulder the rest of his game. He put amazing film on tape, and I love that for him. I hate that call that there's no recourse, like there's nothing we can do. Hodge did have him in tears. I mean, winning is the greatest revenge, but again, you know, love and liberty is about justice. And when you're robbing young men of highlight top 10, you know, season defining type plays, like it's nothing. Like, you don't even have the integrity as a ref to go back and be like, you know what, I threw that flag, but when I see it on the screen, I didn't see what I thought I see. I'm gonna let him play, because then if you're not gonna call pass interference on the Will Shepherd touchdown, that's where I say shenanigans. Because I'm like, if you're gonna be that picky all game on both sides, okay, let me see that. But you're going to call air on Preston Hodge. I never saw a replay where he touched anybody. So you guys correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, Corleone, that's what I'm saying. It was air. I didn't even see. I never saw him make contact with anybody. So how is that even allowed if there's not shenanigans interwoven into this? And that's what Coach Prime is up against. And we all know the type of people that run these shenanigans. And, you know, so my question is, am I irrational if Cincinnati and the Buffs had equal penalty yards, but they had twice as many penalties as we did? Is it irrational to look at some of these plays and think that there's some shenanigans going on? Because a skeptic would say, hey, they both had 69 yards of penalties. And even though Colorado's penalties were twice as costly, you know, they called penalties on Cincinnati. So, you know, they're calling them on both teams. But what is you guys' answer to that? Because I've kind of given you mine. I think, I don't know what it is, but it feels, when you look at the Shepherd, they don't even think about calling pass interference, and the dude is all over him. And then they steal a highlight reel interception and return from Preston Hodge. And then you tack on the 15-yard penalty, and Cincinnati scores on the next play. And the refs all have those goofy smiles on their faces. That's what I'm saying, Corleone. And I know anytime Coach Prime has been asked about it, he says, no, I love the refs. They're our best friends. We let you know. He gives the political answer that he has to give because you know what they would do to him if he told the truth. So we got to have channels. I heard DJ Bless One, the best one, say in one of his videos that, well, he's calling for like ESPN and the huge channels to start saying something because it's getting crazy. Yeah, if you piss them off, they're going to be even worse. And they have that like evil, malevolent joy. Vegas, the spread, the refs, Preston Hodges' pinky. What is going on? And it seems like there's shenanigans in every game, every level, NFL, college, anything where there's betting. All of a sudden, it's more shenanigans than I ever remember seeing in my life in professional sports. And you guys probably saw DJ Bless One, the best one video about him thinking that some of the Cincinnati players were trying to hurt Shedeur and Travis and our guys. And you know, he made some good points. And it's crazy, man. It's crazy because everybody who follows the Buffs knows what like good dudes they are. Patrick, thank you, bro. I appreciate it. We're gonna walk up to the hill where the college kids reside, but I'm just kind of walking you guys around downtown Boulder so recruits, whoever wants to see, can kind of see what the city looks like. We can talk football. The ankle twist, Rod B, yep. Shiloh got the call. The guy put his pelvis in his face. Man, I'm not gonna. Shiloh's my guy. I'll forgive him any kind of. I saw what happened because he hit the dude hard. Corey Kiner got hit hard. Then Corey Kiner tried to flex on him and he put his pelvis in his face. And Shiloh was like, "You're not doing that to me on TV. I don't care whatever happens. Like, you're not going to do that to me on TV." And otherwise, it seemed like Shiloh played a good game. Like, you can't see the safety so much on the broadcast. You guys need to let me know, somebody, how Buffed in Prime and some of those guys get game tape, because I would love to get game tape and be able to go through and dissect that without getting copyright violations from the broadcast. Yeah, Corleone, you know, he grew up obviously with Coach Prime and his friends and that type of mindset, and he plays old school, and it's kind of awesome. And he never, also another thing that DJ Bless One, the best one, said that I really like is there's a difference in football between trying to hurt somebody and injure somebody. Like, you're supposed to try to hurt people. You're supposed to try to wear them down. But trying to injure somebody is completely different. And Shiloh tries to hurt people. He doesn't try to injure people. He tries to just destroy their will. And that's what a good, hard-nosed, old-school defensive football player, that's the style, but it's not the style anymore. But the refereeing is just, I don't know what the recourse is. It's like these people are untouchable. Oh man, Corleone, it's nuts that Shedeur, wait, where'd that comment go? Man, I gotta find the right app for streaming too, because, okay, here we go. It's nuts that Shedeur is not in the talks for the Heisman or top quarterback in CFB. It's so obvious. I agree. I heard him in the press conference. He said something I thought just shows like how intelligent and like humble and like what a good dude he is. He said hey, look, they're never going to nominate two people from the same team. And Travis is the best player in college football. That's what Shedeur said. He's like, so just give the Heisman to Travis. And that's what I'm saying. And so I agree that Shedeur, it should be him and Travis sitting right beside Cam Ward and whoever else you guys want to put in there. Genty, of course. But Shedeur's point was they, and we all know it's the they, whatever the shenanigans are, it's always they. And they're never going to let two people from the same team be nominated, he believes. We know Deion says, because he's my son, which is true, and just crazy. Like, it's just okay to disrespect a GOAT who's a good person. It'd be one thing if he was like a GOAT shit talking the world, you know, just out here being a savage, like living off his millionaire life, just doing, you know, crazy debauchery like Mayo Nation rock stars would do. We don't want to talk about that, huh? Rock stars, tattoo, sex, drugs, rock and roll. Imagine if Deion lived that kind of life. Get the out of here, bro. The man is damn near a saint. And they just act like they're entitled to talk any kind of way about him and say, daddy ball. They know how to trigger me, man, with those words like that, because I'm just like, you only say that on the internet. And it's not even that they're talented. That's what I'm saying. They are talented, but they use it for good purposes. They use their talent to uplift everyone who shows them love and support. They're examples of like what people could aspire to. And of course that's what we can't have. So we got to make up stories. So you guys need to pull up Deion Sanders' Twitter feed from today. And you guys need to post some of the crazy receipts that he was tagging people in on Twitter, because I can't do it while I'm live streaming. But then you guys already know what I'm talking about. But beta male ref, I know. You gotta question that Preston Hodge call and why nobody talks about it. And I know, because like even making this video, I'm like, if I make it about the refs, I know what all the haters will say. And I don't even need to run down the list, because you guys already know what they will say. But I don't care, because it's just so obvious. It's like you're gonna just put it right in our face and make it that blatant, and nobody's gonna talk about it. And then it should be mentioned, like that 4th and 1 stop where our defense said absolutely not on 4th and 1. That's the kind of program you build that is unriggable. And so that's when Deion's saying we have to dominate, because if you dominate, you take away so much of the refs' opportunities for their little holding and pass interference. I need a censor button, but you guys know what I'm talking about. All right, let me look at the chat. Prime has no dirt on his name, raised great kids. Exactly. Silman Craig. Man, let's give Cam Silman Craig some love. That dude, last year's team, when you could see, and I gotta say, for anybody who hasn't seen my feed, if you lived in Boulder before Prime came here, nobody in the city was even going to games. So last year was amazing for us. Like, people who are mad about last year do not live in Boulder. I've never met anybody in Boulder who's mad about last year. But when I would watch those games and the losses were competitive instead of getting blown out by 30 points, you could see which players were emotionally about that life And Cam Silman-Craig from the beginning was like the other thing Prime said the other week when people watch tape and they say, who's that guy? Who's that? That was me seeing Cam Silman-Craig for the first time last year. And then I wondered this year with all the transfer players coming in, you know, what are his and Jimmy's roles going to be, because they became two of my favorite players last year. And I just love that they're even better this year. They've like risen up. I'm going to show you guys Boulder High's football field. Imagine playing high school football. I'm going to show you guys. But yeah, I got to give Cam Silman-Craig is just one of my favorite. I mean, so many favorite players on this team because, again, Coach Prime just recruits good people beyond football. People that you want to do good in life. You want to see them succeed. And that's why these refs, it's like you don't know who you're bleeping with, man. They're going to make us real angry. Robbing like Preston of that work. All right, I'm going to show you guys this football field in here in a second. All right, so that's Boulder High. That's Boulder High football. And you can see the mountains. If I was down there in the bleachers, you'd be able to see the mountains a lot better. But we're going to keep walking up to what is called the hill. We always got some good street art in Boulder. R.I.P. Nipsey Hussle. Yeah, how many siblings we got? We got the Sanders brothers. We got the Hood brothers. We got the Wester brothers. All inspiring. Oh man, you can even see Folsom Field. If y'all see those towers in the distance, right in the center of the frame, that's the back end of the stadium. Oh, Keaton and Destin Wade from Middle Tennessee, and then they went to Kentucky. Yeah, and so Destin Wade to transfer behind Shedeur. All I remember thinking is like, man, that's interesting for a quarterback to want to come be behind Shedeur. It must be an interesting type of dude. And then you see Keaton get on the field and the way he plays, and I'm like, okay, I wonder if Destin is like that as a quarterback. But it's gonna be wild next year to see what happens with the draft, to see what happens with our quarterback position. I don't know about the Cousins. Y'all have to let me know. Y'all have to let me know about that. But yeah, I'm not taking the straight route. We're gonna keep heading up the hill. I'm just kind of like taking y'all around to see some of the sights along the way. But we could just walk straight down Broadway. You could look up the Pearl Street Mall on a Google map, and that's where we started. We started at Pearl Street and Broadway, and we just been making our way south on Broadway. This is Broadway to the right. And Broadway, y'all can tell I'm walking uphill, and this is the hill. When Shedeur says, you know, going to the hill, whatever the hill, everything's on the hill. It's where campus is. I'm gonna show you guys a little strip of college bars, sandwich shops, all the Fox Theater, all that kind of stuff. And we'll keep talking Buffs. Oh, the Wonkwo brothers. I forgot Chidozie. I forgot his brother came. Oh my goodness. Let's go. I'll find some more scenic, that is more scenic to stop, and I'm gonna catch up on the chat. Coach D-Lou's son. I hear myths and legends and tales of things to be excited about in the future. But he's leaving us all high and dry next year, right? He's abandoning it all next year and going to the NFL or going to FSU. He's not staying here another year. Well, if your son's 8, how's he gonna, he's not gonna play for Coach Prime if Coach Prime leaves next year. Y'all know I'm joking. They're so mad that he's here, man. They're so mad, and it's so weird. I don't understand. When I hated Alabama and I hated Nick Saban, I hated them because they were good and because they beat Clemson until they didn't. But I would be like, I hate them because they win all the time. They're good. I respect them. Not throwing dirt on their name, saying that's somebody I don't want to play because they win too much. He gonna have a Saban run with the Buffs. That's what I'm talking about. Let's get it. So Boulder is a hippie town, so the idea of carving anything into the flat irons will make a lot of people clutch their pearls. But you know what? They might do it for Coach Prime. They might carve that rock for Coach Prime. Oh, I'm glad I just saw Noel. You're gonna have to tell me how to say your name, Noel, so I don't butcher it every time. Noel Feking. They don't want players to be coaches. Why? And you know, you already know. Because they can't play. Why don't they want players to be coaches? Because they can't play. So if they can't play, and we're gonna have players coaches, they don't get to be coaches. Uh-oh. It's ridiculous. Like the idea that these people who never put on a set of Walmart shoulder pads, who couldn't catch a Nerf football from 3 feet away, are talking about the GOAT in a critical way regarding football. I don't understand how that happens in society. I just know we're wrong when it does. And that's when people have to start making weird YouTube videos walking around the city just talking about why their coach is a good man and why people need to just put respect on his name. But hey, here we are. All right, we get a view of the flat irons here. All right, so we're up on the hill. We're gonna walk down this street, and that's like College Avenue. I think it's actually Pennsylvania. I can't remember what it's actually, the street name, but it's the main drag for all the college little spots. I'll show you. And then over here is campus. D Hall, thanks to Bucky Corleone from Pennsylvania. What's up, Pennsylvania? Bucky and Coach Prime by default made people realize that they could do stuff like this, that they could have a conversation. We can circumvent those weirdos, but somehow their voices are so loud, and all their little minions are in every single chat. No Life King. Got you, No Life King. I will remember that. You guys got the views. Crashing the gatekeepers, absolutely. That's where football and my lifelong passion of history and philosophy and politics start to intertwine around this Deion moment, is that I played football from a very young age, and some of my best friends from tiny pee-wee football were African American or black kids, and I didn't know any different. And my mom just love everybody. She's just one of those good type of people. But other people in my family started to show me at a young age what evil looked like, because I knew my friends were better people than these, again, adult words. I need an uncensored channel in my family who would dare hold these type of views that we all know these people have. And Coach Prime was my favorite player from a young age, and I caught so much shit in extended parts of my family, not my immediate family. That's why like my immediate family like broke off, because unfortunately we just have a lot of those bad people. But it showed me from a young age, nah, I'm not down with Trump. I've never seen a Trump sign in Boulder, but hey, I love liberty, so we could talk politics too. But I'm just saying, man, in the South, where they all vote for Trump, that's who those family members I'm talking about, that's who they're voting for. So whatever that's worth. But I watched Coach Prime my whole life. The way he moved and how he only has self-confidence. He didn't denigrate anybody. He didn't talk down about anybody. He didn't even lash back at the people who hit out at him. And I just started to see that difference and that contrast. And then as a broadcaster in that part of his career, I lost touch with him a little bit. And then I heard about the Jackson State stuff, but I was still all in Clemson football. So that's where I went to school. So it's just been 15 years of me following everything Clemson does. But I've been living in Boulder. But then Coach Prime came out here. Oh, we got to get past this copyright. We got to get past the copyright music so it doesn't get the video flag. Got it here. Okay. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Oop. Them damn copyright violations are a beast. Okay. But yeah, when Coach Prime moved here and I was here, it's a historic moment. It's bigger than football. It's yeah, let's not talk about my takeoff speed. You know, it ain't bad for my age and my complexion. I played fullback, tight end, wide receiver till I was a senior in high school. I played some quarterback in Pee Wee football, Pop Warner. Mainly fullback, tight end, wide receiver. I got good hands, and I got some lateral quickness, you know. Got a little juke ability back in the day. All right, yeah, we're on College Ave and 13th Street. So this is the hill, y'all. You know, it looks like an old, like, early 1900s, because that's when it was built. All right, I'm gonna find somewhere where I can catch up on some of y'all's comments with a good view. Oh yeah, you know, it can be done. Like Christian McCaffrey, and I don't keep up with the NFL as much, but my dad was 5'10" and he could dunk, almost put his elbow through the goal. I never could dunk though. I don't know how he did that. He was like fanatical about it when he was in high school. He had to dunk, and I was never. I shot threes.
I don't know.
All right. I know there's a little table and chairs around here somewhere. Actually, I'll just keep showing you guys this area. This is like, I think we're just way early. It'll be popping once it gets dark. We're just way early for the college kids. They are not out yet. Got the Fox Theater. All right. Here, I'll look down the street and let me check the chat. Definitely bomb food. We need more soul food. Okay, Anthony, Will Shepard should have gotten that pass interference call for holding. The refs gave Cincinnati a pass interference call against Preston Hodge. Interception was horrible. That's what we talked about in the beginning, Anthony, and I could talk about it all night long, honestly, because my blood is still boiling about it. And I won't like rehash everything that I said earlier in the chat. I'm laughing at No Life King, laughing at me running to avoid the copyright, but that's real. It's a big difference, man. I just learned that as a new channel. That you learn that copyright thing real fast. It's like, oh, that's a... Anyway, the Preston Hodge, okay, yeah, yeah, you guys just look up the history of the Fox Theater if you want to see what Gutter Rat's talking about. They've had legendary acts. I've seen Talib Kweli at the Fox Theater, so Tyler the Creator, I've seen a lot of, like, I like funk and jazz and rock too, so I see all kind of music. But let's talk about the Preston Hodge, Will Shepherd thing again for a second. And just like, I'm gonna put my best thoughts on it is that if you look at those together, there's some obvious hijinks going on. Because what I said in the beginning is if you're calling it consistently both ways, both teams, like I never saw Preston Hodge lay a finger. Wiz Khalifa has played, he might have played at the Boulder Theater. That's a little bit bigger than the Fox because he's played Boulder. But yeah, this is a different Khalifa. But Wiz, you know Wiz loves Boulder. You know why Wiz loves Boulder. So you guys get me sidetracked. But if you put the Preston Hodge call and the Will Shepherd call together, and the way that dude was all over Will Shepherd, and nobody mentions pass interference. It's like, it's just, they put it right in your face and they just laugh at you. And there's nothing we can do about it. And then where did Preston Hodge even touch that kid? And they take away a season-defining highlight stat for him. It's just robbery. It's taking money out of his pocket. I mean, even if it's $10 of draft stock, which, you know, we're talking draft stock, we're talking more than $10 bills. I'm just saying, you look at those two plays together and you just have to wonder, like, what's going on? And I see it in more than CU games. I've seen it seems like it's happening all over the place right now, even in other sports. And I don't know if it's just like something that's going to be part of life now that we all just have to deal with, or what. Guys, this restaurant here is called The Sink. Look, 100 years, 1923 to 2023. It's like an iconic Boulder landmark. The Sink is the restaurant that has Juju Burger. So, all right, so on these streets behind the commercial areas, it's a lot of the frat and sorority houses and stuff like that. So I'll show you guys kind of what the neighborhood looks like. We'll loop back around. We got all kind of good food, friendly people waving at us. Hana Sushi, really good quality for good price. A lot of the stuff on the hill is those places that give you those, you know, college-sized portions for the right prices. So if you come to Boulder, you might be drawn to like the downtown mall area, Pearl Street Mall area. That's where all the restaurants are the most expensive. The hill tends to have better prices for the college kids. All right, let's see some comments here. East Coast Kev, even if FSU offered Prime the job, he wouldn't go. They played him out twice. That's how I feel. I hope that's true. But I agree with you. So we got Alpha Chi Omega. Pretty cool place to have your frat house. You guys saw we're a block away from everything on the hill. You got the Flatirons right there. We'll walk down this block a little bit. Let me look at some more comments. I don't know who Liz Khalifa is. Y'all have to look them up. August Max talking about the good old boy system. That's like, I mean, that's what it is. That's the elephant in the room. No Life King. Okay, the worst calls and no PIs we didn't get were all on Horn and Hodge. Refs got something against players that end in H. That would be an optimistic hypothesis, I'd say. That'd be nice if all it is they just don't like people with the name H. That'd be easy to solve. We could just, you know, have that peel off the back of their jerseys, and then no more adult word penalties. East Coast Kev, the ACC and the SEC don't hire a lot of black head coaches. Come back to reality, everyone. Sad but true. And I'm just hoping that part of this history that we're documenting, that we're all witnessing, is to see that changing. The way it's just taken way too long for each of these fucking, oh, there I go. Hope that doesn't get me there. That's my language, y'all, but see, I'm gonna try to edit myself. But all these walls and barriers that have to be broken down, like these conferences hiring the good old boys, Mayo Nation, who, if they played like Dabo Sweeney, you know, they were tackling dummies. And a tackling dummy can learn, and obviously a tackling dummy can learn to be a good coach. But it's not like the GOAT. Like, how are you gonna compare somebody like Dabo to Coach Prime? How dare you? It's just embarrassing. It gets me revved up, y'all. It gets me heated. It makes me want to make these videos. All right, so neighborhoods, the houses just get fancier and fancier the closer you get to the mountains, as you can imagine. If you keep going down this street, y'all can look up Chautauqua. It's Chautauqua, Chautauqua. That's a park I've seen Bucky go to in a lot of his first videos. You can drive up the mountain like real steep right there, so you can get a lot of altitude real fast and then look down on the city without doing too much hiking. And so that's that way. Let's see what else we got here. Notorious says Coach Prime is not just about the bag. Wealth folks like Coach Prime want control, autonomy, and freedom, something he can't get at FSU and other schools. What I say on a lot of videos is whatever contract Coach Prime puts on Rick George's desk, they're giving him the keys to the city. So that's one hopeful reason that Coach Prime does stay in Boulder, is they don't want to diminish him. They do not want to exploit him. They want everybody to eat. And they're like, hey, tell us what's fair, Prime. You know, you and Miss Constance Schwartz-Marini, you tell us, you guys are the professionals. We trust you. We know where we were before you came here. We're not the weirdos on the internet talking crazy. Yeah, I mean, Boulder is one of the only places where you're going to get a university that is enlightened enough to understand the situation, is the best way I could put it, and not think less of Coach Prime. Like, I think there's very few university administrations that would respect and value and admire and love and, you know, with no caveats, Coach Prime. Like, CU Boulder is the type of place that looks at Coach Prime as a legitimate peer expert, a superior expert that says, you know more about this than we do. And I think a lot of other administrations are like, yeah, you're the head coach, so, you know your role, play your position. We don't care that you're Coach Prime. We've been doing things at this place these certain ways for a long time, buddy. And Boulder's like, hey, let's innovate. Let's have the GOAT. Okay, Corleone, can we give it up for the O-line? Absolutely. Let's give it up for the O-line, because for Augustov to have the night that he had, which was absolutely crucial for us, all due to the line, because he's big and powerful and lean and strong, but he's not a sledgehammer like Dowdell, you know, and I was just worried about working him that much that he was going to get banged up, but he didn't. And that's all credit due to the O-line and Coach Phil. Coach Phil. I mean, Jeffrey, I hope that it's being dismantled, but I believe you. I think it is. Coach Prime is dismantling it, and we're here to document that and give him his flowers. Fidama, I hope you're right. And I think, you know, it will be up to him. I think they're going to say, you tell us, coach. You know, you tell us, and we'll sign. We'll sign on the dotted line. Yeah, I always love when East Coast Kev's in the house. He's everywhere. Got lots of the college life. So you guys can see for recruits. I'm making these videos walking around the city just so they can see the vibes and they can see how people who live in Boulder feel about the players, Coach Prime, the Sanders, the refs, the haters, because all their voices got too loud. All those negative voices got too loud. And there's not people who live here, all the people that I know. And not everybody has a job where they can even talk about, you know, football politics of why Coach Prime gets treated differently. But some of them want to, and more people who have the ability to need to, because the people talking crazy on any GOAT's name, let alone Coach Prime, they should be shamed and ridiculed for the kids. And it's not about dehumanizing anybody like they do. It's about making sure the kids know you can't just talk any type of way on a legend, on a GOAT, on somebody who was him. Like it shouldn't be how society is, that you can just say anything like that about men like Coach Prime. 10 times more so when they're good men who never disparage anybody and only preach positivity and love. So, all right, let's see. Let's get a little sunset, look at the neighborhood, look at some comments. They're playing on future Deion Sanders field, Prime found home. I hope so. And I hope it starts a movement out here. Boulder gonna have a statue of Coach Prime, that's for sure. That's for sure. If Coach Prime chooses to stay and bless us with his presence, he will get a statue. What's up, Queens, New York? New York. I promised the other day I would stop trying to do accents because they're terrible. He came in with a plan and has done everything he said. Gotta love that. Exactly, because people act like just because he did somewhat of an overhaul the first year, that he just got his pick of the litter. That he just like, okay, let's get rid of all the bad players and now let me order all of the best players off my wish list. And yeah, I promise no more accents. But yeah, it's like he got the transfer portal players that were available in December of that year that he came. And what he did was, again, I'm censoring myself, amazing. The team lost 11 games by an average of 29 points the year before. I will never stop saying that. 29 points average loss every game. No Life King, I hear you. I thought that was going to be Dallin, and I think Dallin thought that was going to be Dallin, and I think everybody thought that was going to be Dallin. I think Dallin's dad thought that was going to be Dallin and Coach Prime, and I don't know why it hasn't. I'm not going to critique a running back that will run me over. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not one of those guys. I'm not one of those guys who's going to be like, let me tell you the technical skills of a running back and why Dallin Hayden is... No. That if we put on pads, he's destroying me. I know that, so let's get that straight. But we do need... That's what... I mean... I bite my tongue to say anything critical of the team because I think what we have in year 2 is spectacular. It's amazing. It's like we should all just be really grateful. But if we are going to be football critical, like this team had been around for a while, you know, that would be one of the things is we needed that sledgehammer. Because Giddens going to the NFL. I feel like Dowdell is going to the NFL, but Giddens for sure. A lot of people think that the dude from Cincinnati, why am I blanking on his name? Corey Kiner. A lot of people think Corey Kiner is going to the NFL. So I don't know, man, because I'm a huge fan of running backs. I loved Emmitt Smith when him and Prime played together. Even though I didn't like the Cowboys, I just loved both of them so much. I was like, okay, whatever, I'll root for the Cowboys. I grew up watching Barry Sanders, of course. Okay. Oh, wait, hell no, what? Let's talk about that. Because yeah, MH, I live in Boulder. I live... You know, where I started this stream from, I walked for about 5 minutes before I got there. So that's why I'm doing this coverage, because I want recruits and everybody around to see the city. I want y'all to come visit. I want recruits to see where they can come live. And we're going to show you guys all different parts of the city over the next few months. Augusta is tough and strong. I mean, okay, here is one thing. Before I say anything, I won't say anything negative about Augusta without saying he was averaging 4.4 yards a carry before last night, and he averaged like 4.1 last night. That's good. That's what you need. So feed that man a rock until his average goes below 4 yards a carry, because, I mean, that's everything you want in a running back, right? 4 yards a carry. I mean, it's nice to have somebody like Jimmy who can just, you know, or Dylan, who can just leave everybody. They shoot through a seam and nobody's catching them. Like, it's nice to have that, but then that person's not always rugged and durable. If you got the rugged and durable, I mean, you know, you just have it. You're like asking for a Derrick Henry. You're asking for a goat. And goats are hard to come by at any position. Let me sit down here for a second, catch up in the chat. That's campus. All those buildings that look like that, when you see those buildings, that's always campus. Oh, speaking about running backs, I'm excited to see Brandon Hood, because we were talking about brothers earlier. We were talking about all the siblings on the team, and you guys see Colton Hood whopping people. Just WWE Colton Hood. He needs a wrestler nickname. That dude, oh my God. And so Brandon Hood in the running back room. And I heard Coach Flea saying he's really good. I bet he's just learning the plays, learning the pass protections, getting schooled up, maybe getting some weight on his bones. Yeah, Corleone, you got to make a statement when your number gets called. Because that's the whole point. You're fresh. You go in there and you make the tired D linemen and linebackers pay for their inferior conditioning. And so let's give a shout out to Coach Mo, because when I see the buffs, and so seeing some of these players face to face around campus, standing next to them, like I've said in other videos, I was around a lot of the Clemson players when Bowden left and Dabo came in and rebuilt. So like I know body sizes, I know physical conditioning. I've been into like exercise and fitness my whole life. So what I'm saying is these dudes are in better shape than everybody they play. These dudes, Coach Mo has these dudes tuned up, y'all. Like, Coach Mo is an unsung hero. He needs to get lots and lots and lots of flowers for Coach Mo. And then when you get to condition them at altitude, that's definitely an advantage anywhere you go. Wild Dog, it's an honor, as always, to have you in the house. We are up on the hill, Wild Dog. This is campus. We're at College Avenue and 14th Street, if you guys want to look it up on Google. I'm sitting down to catch up on the chat, and then we're going to walk around, show you guys a little bit more of the city, head back down towards the Pearl Street Mall area while the sun sets, talk about maybe the Travis Heisman situation. We got into Shador's comments that, how do you feel that you're clearly the best quarterback in college football and your name is barely mentioned for the Heisman? And he just smiled and he said, let's be honest. They're never going to nominate two guys from the same team. And Travis is the best player in college football, so just give it to Travis. And so that says everything about Shador. But I want to get into that in a little while when we walk down the hill, because I think talking about the Heisman with Travis and anybody is disrespectful. No one has ever done what he's doing in football, period. And Deion saying it, and other Hall of Fame players saying it and co-signing it, that should be it. End of discussion. Like, I know you don't want to have a boring, we're just going to give Travis the Heisman and there's no excitement, anticipation. Yes. And now just watch him play. That's the excitement, anticipation. He wins by default. We can get into what you guys think about that. Let me get back into the comments here. Arch Manning to Colorado 2025. That would be crazy. Can you guys imagine how mad people would be if Arch Manning came here? They're going to be mad if Juju comes here. I hope Juju's not trolling us, y'all. Then again, I only want the best for these dudes. I want him to do whatever's best for him and his life and his family and his heart. But we need Shador's got the biggest shoes to fill. Yeah, it's good to have a daydream. That's what I'm saying. No Life King. We can daydream. As long as we call it a daydream, we don't get delusional. We're not like, it's going to happen. I swear it's going to happen. No, it's just like, man, that would be... Life is trippy, yo. That's one thing I've learned. Never say never. We need more counters and draw plays versus dives. On one hand, I agree. On another hand, I also, the same way I can't say anything about Augustave or Dallin because they run me over, I hesitate to question the coaches a lot of the time because I'm like, who am I to question Deion Sanders and Pat Shurmur? And I don't get mad at people when they question the coaches. Like, I get mad at the haters for taking personal, dehumanizing shots at people. That's what makes me mad, is when they start talking daddy ball, clown, circus, this and that. That's what gets me heated. When they call pass interference on Preston Hodge and take away that play, that gets me heated. If you critique the coaches, that's fine by me. But for me personally, I start to bite my tongue just because I know, I'm not going to do that in front of Deion's face. I would feel foolish. Wild Dog, still like a direct snap, perhaps with Draylon Miller. Also keep pass by Horn in the playbook. Yeah, Jimmy throwing the ball. Oh, yes. We shouldn't talk about that. We'll keep that under wraps. I heard Travis can throw it too. Yes or no, Juju is helping us recruit. Russell from Duncanville, Texas is still open. Exactly, Wild Dog. That's like the all publicity is good publicity type philosophy. I'm with that. He seems like a good dude, and we know that's who Deion recruits. So wherever he goes, we wish him the best. We just need a dog to fill Shador's shoes. Yeah, one reason that CU looks totally legit is they haven't fired on all cylinders throughout a game yet. And They still should have beat KSU, missing almost 30 tackles and having 4 significant injuries. I mean, you just put Travis in the game and they probably win KSU. Like, look at last night. Like, you just leave everything the same and have Travis, and Travis kind of hurt himself, like whopping somebody with his shoulder. That's what that hit looked like to me. It looked like Travis was, making a statement, and he got one of those stingers. And it happens. It wasn't that KSU were any type of beasts or physical, or they weren't playing dirty or anything like that. Like, that was just a freaky night. On defense, when you miss close to 30 tackles, like, I can't critique Nikai Hill-Green, Levante Bentley, Cam, any of those dudes, but I think they would say that if we're missing 30 tackles, that's not what we're trying to do. We're not going to win games doing that. And you look at the UCF game, how much they won by, still could have played way better. Arizona could have played way better. And last night, I mean, with the reffing turnaround, so with that Preston Hodge call, he returned it like 35 or 40 yards. And you know what the offense was doing. So give us another touchdown there, at least a field goal. But instead, it goes 15 yards from the line of scrimmage the other way, and Cincinnati scores on the next play because our whole defense is demoralized. Like, how is that pass interference? All of that, playing halfway good, and they still win dominantly where the game's never even really in doubt. Like, that's a good football team. And you even got people like Matt B. Diddy. You guys know Matt B. Diddy, right? Tell Matt B. Diddy I said, what's up? But what I am going to say about Matt B. Diddy is he has really changed his tune. He is now a Colorado fan. He a fan, which is cool. I mean, and he admits a lot of the things that he got wrong, but he doesn't really have the accountability of, like, this is what frustrates me about those people, is why should we take anything you say seriously in the future, bro, if you were so confidently wrong? If you apologize, okay, I'll give that to you. And you admit you were wrong and you correct it and you don't do any of the code talking while you do it. Like, he gave a good apology. His apology, but then he still wants to be an expert. He still wants to make his predictions. He still thinks he's qualified to say who's good, who needs work, whatever. And, but anyway, it's good to have a good team. It's good to have the problem of Matt B. Diddy switching up and apologizing versus Matt B. Diddy laughing in all of our faces that we lost the last 2 games, or more. And this season has just shut up so many of the worst. Actually, no, the worst people, they're always talking no matter what. But the people who have, a little bit of common sense left in their head, like Matt B. Diddy, he's like, you know what? Colorado is a good football team, not in the Big 12. They're a good football team, period. And I'm like, okay, put some respect on their name. That's what I'm talking about. But I'm also like, I keep the receipts. I remember all those videos when you said our O-line. I hate quoting this because I feel like such a goofball quoting what he said. He said our O-line was doo-doo butt cheeks. I'm never going to say it again. That's the last time I'm going to say it because it's so embarrassing. And he said that seriously. And he's wrong. And I'm never going to let him forget it. And you guys shouldn't either. The Nebraska game, second time a lot of these players are playing together. Second time all of them are playing with Livingston and Lodeholt. Lincoln, one of the hardest places you could play in college football. And it was all the first half, I'm not worried about the Nebraska game. And I think if we played Nebraska next week, it would be that Indiana type walloping. What do you guys think about Indiana, by the way? I don't remember Indiana having a good football team in my lifetime. We don't have to talk about Indiana, though. Ramona, the refs and their disgusting antic of psychological kneading on the defense. Are you saying like needling, like trying to get in their head and make them demoralized and feel hopeless, because that's what it feels like to me. It is. It's like they have this evil little smile on their face because they know like what it does to somebody like Preston's heart when you take that interception away for something he didn't even do. I mean, like, that's injustice. Like, nothing feels worse to a human being than injustice. He made an amazing play, and they're just like, nope. Same way with Jimmy Horn. They're like, oh, peace fingers, nope, take it away. Because we said so. Because we don't like you, that's why. And it's disgusting. It makes my blood boil even when we win. Even when we win, I'm just feeling it the next day. So I'm like, what is Preston Hodge feeling today? Does he care? Would he be like, dude, I don't care, you shouldn't care? Or is he like, man, my blood is boiling too? I think it's different personalities that take it different way. Like, I think Shador is the type of person to just let something go, but Preston and Jimmy look like those intense type dudes like I was, where it's like, nah, I want to prove somebody wrong. You stole that interception from me. I want justice. Like with that Henry Blackburn hit last year, y'all, I won't say the thoughts that were going through my head out loud. I won't say it. I'm not going to say it. I'm going to bite my tongue. But you all know. You know. You feel the love for Travis, and you saw that Henry Blackburn hit last year, and you live down the road from him, you know. Why they want to do our guys like that? Our guys aren't like that. Our guys aren't looking for off the field beef, and they're not looking to injure people. I said earlier, DJ Bless One, the best one, made a good point, because he said, in football, you're supposed to try to hurt people, but you're not supposed to try to injure people. And there's a difference. You hurt somebody by hitting them hard and wearing them down, making those, superficial skin bruises that start to make your muscles fill up with acid and tighten up, and you just can't explode the same way. You can't cut the same way once you get dead-legged in the thigh, and that's part of the game. And you tip your hat to a linebacker who gives you a stinger in the thigh, or in the chest and knocks the wind out of you. That's all fair game. But we know what we're talking about, and we're not talking about those kind of hits. We're talking about the stuff. DJ Bless One, the best one, made a video about it. You guys can watch it, where he thinks Cincinnati players were trying to injure our dudes. But the Henry Blackburn thing, that was crazy. That's crazy that kid didn't get in any kind of trouble. It's crazy that he had the audacity to make that video that he did with Travis. Yeah, Noel Marie, that's what I'm saying. Like, Travis showed everybody who was who. Like, Travis was just himself and comfortable in that video, and Henry Blackburn was delusional. Like, Henry Blackburn doesn't know who Henry Blackburn is. And that's the only type of person that would do something like that to somebody else and think that they're going to get, like, flowers or kudos. And Jay Norvell might be that type guy. Maybe he is giving flowers and kudos, because that's what it looks like with CSU. And talking about refs, talking about Norvell, talking about that, it's like, okay, we're winning, so, what's the big deal? But the big deal is, like, that's what this whole channel is about, because it's a difference between good people who just want to be good at their craft and do their best and play their best and uplift their life and their family and their people. And then you've got these weird people who have these ulterior motives of, like, I want to hurt somebody, I want to shame them, I want to dehumanize them, I want to, things that have nothing to do with athletics or football. And that's what this channel is about. We cover Coach Prime, we analyze the game, but the heart of this channel is, let's talk about who's who and why it matters and why it's important to differentiate for the kids, for the recruits. Like Jordan Seaton said, not every high school kid is as brilliant as Jordan Seaton, because All you got to do for all of the reasons the players should come here is just watch the Jordan Seaton recruiting process and listen to what he said. If you're a dog, why wouldn't you want to come here and play for somebody who looks like you? And more importantly than somebody that looks like you, the GOAT of your game. And that's the thing that these other coaches, these other programs, they cannot compete with. They can never be Coach Prime. And so they don't want that message to get out to the high school players that don't get it yet. The players who aren't as enlightened as Jordan Seaton, who don't just understand that because people in their family helped them see it or they realized it some other way. We, the community, can help them see the difference in what Coach Prime's program is to players and their futures and their families versus these good old boy institutions that shouldn't even be in the conversation. They should get the seconds from Coach Prime and any gold jacket player coaches. And I hope Coach Prime starts a revolution of player coaches because that's who should be coaching these kids. That's who understands what they're going through. That's who understands. That's who understands how their agents are going to try to manipulate them, how their accountants are going to try to tell them, don't worry, I got you. You pay me to worry about this. You go out and play football. You ain't got to worry about the books. I've been doing this for 20 years, and Coach Prime and player coaches are going to say, not so fast. Let me tell you about accounting and this little thing we got called software and banking algorithms that can do it all for you. And I got you a CPA that's worked with my Hall of Fame, my Coach Prime connections, not whoever's in the city connected to the alumni, gets them a car, buys them food, gets them clothes, and they're like, oh yeah, use my accountant. Y'all know how all this stuff goes down and why Coach Prime scares, terrifies the establishment. His media coverage is worth $330 something million a year, $1 billion every 3 years. Ooh, that's scary. Me says, Coach, oh, are we walking towards that copyright, y'all? We got to turn around and run. We got to turn around and run from the copyright strike. We just alter our path and go a different direction. Paul Feinbald. Well, hey, y'all tell me what Feinbald is saying. I hate that. Censor myself. I need my uncensored channel, but I got some words for Feinbald, but y'all tell me what he's saying. That dude flip-flops. And sometimes he's got legitimate football criticism, but he mixes it in with that weird stuff too. And y'all know what I'm talking about. Like, you got some people who keep the criticism to football, strategy, opinions. I know Livingston and Shermer and Dion all have difference of opinions. That's normal. Y'all know the weird stuff I'm talking about. And Feinbaum gets into a lot of the weird stuff. Jason Whitlock, full out weirdo. You can't even talk about Jason Whitlock. That dude is hurt in his soul. Code talk, gaslighting, pearl clutching. That's unfortunately the good old boy way. Do something terrible, then call you a victim for calling it out, and act incensed and appalled that you would ever question their character. We're gonna walk through campus a little bit, guys. So that's the hill. That's where we just came from. Walked around, showed you guys some of the side streets. We got restaurants and stuff on the side streets, frat houses, sorority houses, residential houses. And then we got campus is right across the street, right over there. Let me look at some of these comments. Paul punching air at home. Exactly. East Coast Kev, no. Stop it. That's how these people are, man. Like when I ask you what's he saying, you just can never anticipate how wild the answer is going to be. It's always crazier than you think. He's taking credit for their success. You got to tell me more. Whitlock is a disgrace to humanity, man. All of these people who want to dehumanize and attack people's character who are good people. If you're making a valid criticism against somebody like, hey, that person's robbing that person, okay, fair. But these crazy, out of left field stuff that Whitlock says that I'm not ever gonna, like, I don't even want to talk about him. But that's not, he's criticizing a man who doesn't criticize anyone, who's positive, who's uplifting, who he's jealous of. And so it has nothing to do with football. It's like something that happened to him in his childhood, somebody who picked on him that looked like Dion. I don't know if Dion ever said something crazy to him when they were players, but I can't imagine it. And I'm sure that if he did, Whitlock would be talking about it every week. So you just know that whatever these people are mad about, it has nothing to do with football. But the kids don't always know, man. And so that's why we as a community, Uncle Ruckus, that's the character from Django. I said that Jason Whitlock was the character from Django before, and I forgot his name was Uncle Ruckus, but you read my mind, No Life King. That's what he reminds me of. It's just, I don't know, man. They not like us. Samantha, you're right. Oh, Uncle Ruckus is Boondocks. Okay. All right. My bad. Similar demeanor, though, right? Disposition. Warren Central High School in Indianapolis. That's what I'm saying, man. It's something personal that only he knows. And I know that Coach Prime knows that it has nothing to do with him, but I think Jason Whitlock is the only person that doesn't know that all his Coach Prime stuff has nothing to do with Coach Prime. The only person who doesn't get that is him. And I mean, I guess the people who are his fans, but you know, birds of a feather flock together. So Jason Whitlock attracts the hurt people who think that lashing out at their betters is gonna somehow heal the slight that they've had in their life. And it's sad because you're like, at the end of the day, that's just a person hurting who doesn't know how to get healing. I mean, it's not fun. It's not fun living like that. King Mel Scott, hey, if he took his girl, then, you know, it's like, okay, well, at least there would be a logical reason. At least we could understand a little bit. East Coast Kev says that Whitlock is jealous of Prime's women. Y'all, you really cannot overstate the power of the word incel. If you guys don't know what an incel is, so much of this hate comes from sexual frustration. I know that's a weird thing to talk about in football. No Diddy, pause, whatever. But East Coast Kev is like, he's hitting on top of what is actually the core issue. It is, a lot of these people just feel so inferior. And somehow in some delusional experience of life, they got this idea that the way to fix that was talking crazy about their superiors. And when I say superior, I just mean in the sense of the numbers and the film that Dion has versus the numbers and the film that Whitlock has. I don't mean in any kind of subjective judgment. I mean, you're talking about a man who you're not in the same universe as, bro. And you have to be delusional to do that. So where does the delusion comes from? And East Coast Kev, he's telling a joke, but y'all, it's a lot of these people, a lot of the Mayo Nation people, a lot like Paul Feinbaum, they got no satisfaction, if you know what I'm talking about, and it comes out in weird ways. Sorry to get deep on you guys, but that's some Sigmund Freud psychoanalysis of these weirdos, because you know what? The kids need to know. The kids need to know, like, confident, satisfied, happy human beings don't worry about what other dudes are doing who aren't hurting anybody. You just don't. You just want everybody to be happy. If you're getting yours and you're feeling good about life, then the natural state is like, if everybody was feeling this good, we wouldn't have any conflict. So I want everybody to feel good. And you see that in Coach Prime. He gets it. He understands that everybody's kids doing better makes the world a better place for his kids. And he tries to bring about that kind of world. And so it is important to spotlight and point out the type of people who try to tear somebody like Coach Prime down, because the world's crazy enough as it is. We need more Coach Prime, less Jason Whitlock. So I was just saying that to myself for so long, you know, until it's just building up in me, and DJ Bless One, the best one, is like, yo, if you guys see this crazy stuff in Mayo Nation that I see, y'all should make some videos too, because it's important. We need to talk about this. And I was like, okay, that's all I need. I will do that. I walk around the city every day. I walk 3 to 5 miles a day around the city, and I can pick up a camera and I can defend a good man who I followed my entire life, and do my best, you know, to help further his mission in this community that he's building, because Boulder's got to do everything that we can to hold on to Coach Prime, because we're lucky to have him. I mean, lucky doesn't even scratch the surface. It's like winning the lottery. Living here and having Coach Prime land here, it feels like I've never won anything like the lottery or anything like that, but that's what it feels like. Because that was one of my childhood heroes I talked about earlier in the chat. Why? He showed me, just from watching him from afar, who was who in my family, who was good people and who was bad people. And he helped me from my earliest ages through the rest of my life understand the difference between confidence and denigrating or dehumanizing other people. Because if you're just self-confidence, if you just say what you're gonna do, even if you fail, nobody gets hurt. You can say what you're gonna do. We'll all watch. We get to laugh at you if you say what you're gonna do and then you don't do it, or not, or we tell you to try again, or we applaud you if you succeed. But you have that right. You get to be self-confident. You should be self-confident. And that's what Coach Prime shows people. And the people who hate that, they never learned that. They don't have the antidote to know that what they were taught is the same thing that's poisoning them. And what they're criticizing in Coach Prime is the antidote that would heal them. Stop worrying about what other people are doing and your subjective opinions about people that don't matter, especially if you're Jason Whitlock and you played football and you're talking about somebody else who played football who's a GOAT, and you are, I don't know the words, but it's crazy. So in society, we're just not going to let them have all the floor. We're going to take the microphone and we're going to talk too. And, you know, Coach Prime leads by faith, and he has faith, you know, that if you treat people the right way and do the right things, that it's all going to work out. And I like that. I'm with that. Me, you took the word out of my mouth. I was gonna say I bit my tongue, but yeah, you read my mind. That's crazy. Y'all go listen to Me's song. Me just wrote a song about it. I love people who write music with meaningful lyrics. Oh, perfect segue. Y'all, in the well-off video today, you saw they were shooting, Bucky and Jimmy were shooting like a locker room scene for the video of their song together. Does anybody know what their song together is called? And if it's out on streaming services? I don't think it is. But dude, soul touching. Just, again, if everybody was seeing the full spectrum like we are, they'd know how abominable it is to take touchdowns from Jimmy Horn, to steal picks from Preston Hodge, to call Deion's locker room a troubled environment when there has been zero off-field incidents. But they'll go ahead and write that. They'll go ahead and say that. And y'all got to look at Bucky's Twitter feed tonight, because that's what got me riled up today. He was tweeting receipts, and they just got my blood boiling. I don't have the right words for these people, but I appreciate getting to just walk around, show you guys Boulder, chat with you about it. I want to talk about whether or not it's disrespectful to Travis to talk about it being a race between him and Ashton Jeanty. Because my position is, you got to just give the Heisman to Travis. And Ashton Jeanty should stand up and be like, you know what? It's crazy that in the year that I'm doing something a running back has never done, there's another player doing something that no football player has ever done. And because of that, I'm going to tell y'all, go ahead and give it to Travis, like Shador is saying. But I have no place to say that to Ashton Jeanty, because, of course, he would run me off the face of the earth. And so, you know, what do you guys think? I just think that I'm going, you know, with what Coach Prime has said, who, again, I think has the most qualified opinion. And he's like, yeah, man, I understand Ashton's doing what no running back has done since Barry Sanders, but Travis is doing what no football player has ever done. What do you guys think about that? You guys see the fitness center? We're just walking around campus, man. Just strolling around. We got rock climbing walls in front of us. Really nice facilities. All the coaches need raises. Yep, they got to open up the pocketbooks. We got to open up the pocketbooks. You can't squander this opportunity. You got to take care of your people. The money's going to be there. And Colorado's not trying to play games. They're not trying to go tit for tat negotiating with Coach Prime and his staff. They're just like, we respect you guys. You're the professionals. Tell us what you need. We'll get it done. We're going to be coming up behind the stadium, guys. This is the basketball courts that Travis was destroying everybody on in that video. You see him playing in there? It would be crazy to be randomly walking by on the night and you just see Travis fly up by the goal, go elbow deep, slam it on some poor unsuspecting kid. He was showing no mercy. It was beautiful. True competitive athlete. I mean, No Life King, I don't know of not one incident. So if you know of incidents, I feel like I follow everything I can about the Buffs. I live in Boulder. I haven't heard of any off-field incidents. So if there have been, then the team has kept it in the family. I'll say that. I call myself a super fan, and I haven't heard of any incidents. Cormani had a fender bender, but I mean, it was in the snow. Anybody in the city, it's just like, that's not an off-field incident. I'm coming from Florida, and I've never driven in the snow before. And even whoever he slid into wouldn't even care, because The speed limits here in the city are really low. Everybody's driving slow. So he probably just barely tapped somebody. Anyway, I don't know about any incidents. What we can say is that they have one of the best cultures of any college football teams that exist. I mean, you couldn't have... All right, there's a stadium, guys. Crazy to think this time last night what the energy was like. And y'all can hear crickets right now if I be quiet. Oh, educator. Okay. Yeah, I do remember that from last year. You're right. Facts. But, I mean, that's setting the standard. If you're going to set a standard that this is a professional culture and they're going to be treated at professional standards, then that was a way to do it. And it apparently has worked. Yeah, Cormani had a fender bender on a day that it snowed. He just slid into somebody at a stop sign, so it was no big deal. I don't think he had anything other than practice-related work ethic issues, at least according to Coach Prime's standards. You guys know what the stadium looks like, but, you know, just giving you some different angles, some different looks. I didn't see any comments about the Travis Hunter, Ashton Jeanty situation. What you guys saying about that? Let me see. I don't know if anybody is talking about the Travis Hunter, Ashton Jeanty situation, but for me, I feel like every other player in college football needs to come together and be like, give it to Travis to prevent shenanigans, because if you're a player, don't you want to see Travis get it? Even if you really want it, like Shedeur, don't you say like what Shedeur said last night, where he says, you know what? Yeah, I mean, of course I want to be in the Heisman conversation, but Travis is the best player. Just give it to Travis. Would it be crazy for Ashton Jeanty to come out and say, would it be crazy for Jalen Milroe? Well, he ain't getting the Heisman now, but who else is in contention to come out and say, what are we doing here, guys? Just give it to Travis. Let's call it early this year, and that'll be a celebration all of its own. Nobody's ever just had other players say, we don't want something crazy to happen. We don't want to be part of drama against the dude we all know is that guy. For all those Heisman commercials you see for years to come where they're at the Heisman house, if somebody other than Travis is in those commercials for the next 10 years, it's going to make me mad every time they come on the TV, man. It's the Champion Center. We're looking in the north side end zone. And down here is that famous buffalo statue. We got the practice fields. That's what I'm saying. Trav's got to be in the Heisman commercials. Y'all are staying quiet, though. Oh, look at this. Dang. One night too late. One night too late. That's what we hope to get in the future, guys. We want to get you guys press level access and expand the Love and Liberty team. If the channel does well, if you guys are interested in following the process, please subscribe. I know Deion Sanders Jr. has been into the audio of his videos a lot recently, and I just have a huge background in audio. I live right down the street. I have all the technology he needs to make whatever he's trying to do with the audio, which I think a lot of it is capturing dialogue when he wants dialogue in loud environments and things like that. But anyway, if I could link up with Dion Jr., I would turn around his work. I would stop everything I'm doing, turn around the audio file he sent me as fast as possible, and I would do it all for free without, thinking twice. So I'm just hoping one day we can link, but even beyond that, just getting legitimate press credentials so that we can get somebody in these interviews asking questions from people like you guys across the world, the real fans, the people who eat, sleep, and breathe the Buffs and Coach Prime. Coach Prime always be getting annoyed and perturbed at getting asked the same stupid questions over and over and over, and we could change that. And again, our mission is to tell the bigger story, which is what Coach Prime's trying to do. So, we just keep going. You guys keep tuning in. I appreciate so much the support and the love you guys have shown the channel. This is a new channel. It's very humbling. And I just, like I said, it feels like winning the lottery to have Coach Prime land in the city that I landed in, being a lifelong super fan. So, a lot of people wanted to see walk around tours of the city. DJ Bless won the best one, and other people have called for those of us in Mayo Nation who see the Shenanigans to speak out with whatever voices we have, and that's what I'm doing, and that's how this got started. And so I'll always give DJ Bless one of the best one credit for pushing me over the edge. And I also love to watch Harry B on the TLP Sports Club. I cannot co-sign those crazy arguments that happen, but the craziness and the hilarity of the opinions on that show kind of keep me coming back. And I just love Harry B, man. He's one of those good guys like, Coach Prime. And I feel like those of us that span different backgrounds and whatever you want to call it, like that kind of link up around Coach Prime beyond just great football, because we love football too. There's some people who love Coach Prime, like my wife. She doesn't care about football, but she loves good people. So she loves Coach Prime because she just thinks what he's doing is awesome. She loves to hear his motivational speeches, all that kind of stuff, but she doesn't care about football. But those of us who are like football fans and Coach Prime as a person fans, that thing that like unites all of us is just like who Dion is. It's like we like self-confidence that doesn't dehumanize other people, that just says, hey, you can be confident too. But just because you're mad at me for being confident, I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to turn my light down, and that's okay. It's not going to hurt you. If we're playing, I'm going to compete as hard as I can, and that's what we're supposed to do. What else do you want from me? And it just feels like the voices of people like Coach Prime have been drowned out by the voices of people like Jason Whitlock and Paul Feinbald, So here we are. Let's see what Kelly says. I was so sick of seeing the horrible YouTube videos that were so negative about Coach Prime. So glad to find your channel. I appreciate that, Kelly. Me too. That's how it happened. I kept biting my tongue and like yelling at the wind, and I was like, well, I could hit record on my phone, and then I could yell, see if anybody else wants to listen. But also, again, just showing you guys Boulder. Once we get back downtown, it's going to be more lit up. You'll be able to see more stuff. We'll do another little walk around Pearl Street, and we'll wrap up the feed. But I just wanted you guys and the recruits to get to see what a walkable city Boulder is, how pleasant the people are, how pleasant the weather is, what we are lacking in soul food, we make up for in many, many other genres of food. You could find multiple different restaurants for any kind of food you want to eat here. I'm just going to say the southern style places are lacking, you know, coming from the southeast. So maybe we could have somebody open up a shop. We need some, I'll piss some people off if I start talking about barbecue out here, so I won't say any barbecue names because everybody's got their favorite, but we could use some more soul food. We could use some southern cooking. We got a good place called Lucille's, that's like Louisiana Creole, but you know, that's different than the Carolinas, different than the Virginia area. Everybody got their own kind of biscuits and gravy, you know what I'm saying? And we just need more variety of biscuits and gravy and hot wings. And there's just, the fried chicken is lacking, the barbecue is lacking, the gravy, nobody makes gravy out here, all the stuff I grew up eating. So, but the food is still delicious. And the grocery stores, like the selection is crazy. So I just cook everything myself, and that's how I get my southern fix. My wife makes the best cornbread. Everybody's wife makes the best cornbread though, you know what I'm saying? But you know, I think there is a Jamaican restaurant in Boulder. I have not, but I only heard about it like last week or so, and I didn't know about it. So maybe in the future, I don't know. We'll keep this channel Coach Prime and Boulder centric. If you guys have any questions about specific restaurants or anything like that, you know, we'll cover anything for the Coach Prime and Buffs family that everybody wants to see, because it's crazy. When we were streaming the Buffs Walk yesterday, it was people from Ghana, from Guyana, from Trinidad and Tobago, from Canada, you know, I could name all the states. Somebody who was in China, somebody was in Vietnam. It's just like, and that's what I'm saying about Coach Prime. What makes people want to have to watch, and not just the game, but content like the Buff Walk, or just, hey, what does Boulder look like? What does this person who lives in Boulder think about, you know, Coach Prime and everything that's going on, is a testament to Coach Prime's magnetism that comes from what I would just say at the most simple form is just being a good person. I mean, it's like he held himself to that ethical standard when he was practicing too. And that's how he got so good, because he was like, you know, I'm going to do my best every rep, every day, every practice. And, you know, you multiply that from elementary school through middle school, high school, college, pros, and you get a GOAT. Nicole, you should definitely come. Anybody thinking about visiting, you gotta come. But I just warn people, the only problem with coming to Boulder is you might never leave. So we got Tibet Kitchen right here. We got Zodiac Subs. We got Rincon Argentinian restaurant there. You know, and it just, restaurants go on and on and on. I can't show you guys all the restaurants. I'm just showing you any given block. You got Thai food, subs, and Argentinian food within sight. So, and here, you know, here's another Thai place right here. The camera's not focusing on the light, but that's called Folsom Thai. So I'm on Folsom Street, y'all. If you look up Folsom Street, that's Folsom and Arapahoe. Arapahoe is Arapahoe, Arapahoe, and Folsom. And I'm walking north on Folsom. And this is kind of like middle of the city. Like over here, there's a grocery store, there's a hardware store. I remember in a Travis video, Liana and all her friends were getting their nails done, and it was in a place that's over there in that shopping center. So, you know, those kind of vibes, like right down from campus, not the most expensive area of Boulder, lots of good restaurants. There's yoga, coffee, dentist, McGuckin Hardware. It's like that's like been in Boulder forever. I was gonna say a good place to park on game day, but I don't want to get anybody in trouble because you never know where they're gonna tow people out here. Yeah, bring that Jamaican food truck here. It would thrive. We just, like, I had my own preconceived notions about Boulder before I moved here. Like, I thought, it doesn't really matter what I thought, but my opinions were wrong. And what kept me in Boulder was the people more than anything. But the weather right after the people. But just because I love the people here doesn't mean that we don't have a lot of work to do, and that Coach Prime's influence is something that the city needs so bad. And like, that's what can make Boulder great, is Coach Prime continuing to thrive and bring more and more people here that never thought that they would go to Boulder, who never thought that they would, move to Colorado and take over the state. Let's make Boulder, let's make Coach Prime the governor of Colorado. I know he said the other governor, but let's make Coach Prime the governor of Colorado, and he can stay in Boulder, and he can be the governor from Boulder. And we could do with the community and society what he's doing with the football team. Yeah, no life king. That's why I keep telling y'all where I'm at. So now I just turned left on Canyon off Folsom. So now I'm walking west on Canyon. You'll see we got a little dispensary action right here. That's all we got to say about that. It's just, it's just on one of the main streets. You got all kinds of different businesses, different cultures, and we just need more, because the vibe here is like Coach Prime's type of vibe, but the culture is just kind of homogenous because of how the history is. Like, there's a good Latino culture, there's pretty good Asian culture. Our African American and Black population is what's lacking, and so we need to change that, and Boulder wants to change that. And I hope that's what the next 10 years look like. And people had different feelings about, some people in the chat of the Buff Walk talking about, or the pep rally, talking about that the CU band needs HBCU influence. But I mean, I think what those people are saying,
yellow lights are flashing.
I think what those people, y'all look, we get to stop traffic to just walk across the road. So we'll run. We won't make people walk wait too long. All right. So yeah, we're making our way down Canyon. We're gonna get on Broadway. We're gonna go back to the Pearl Street Mall. It'll be all lit up. It'll be light. There'll be people shopping and eating and whatnot. And we'll end the stream from there. I was hoping to talk more about the Travis Hunter, Ashton Genty situation, whether or not you think, I'm gonna have to get off this main street, it's too loud. Well, that's the problem. I either gotta walk in the dark and the stream will be terrible, or we gotta deal with the noise from the road. Yeah, it's 35 miles an hour right here, but it turns 25 in probably like 1-2 blocks. because when I made that loop onto campus and I walked around the back side of the building, I got a little farther east in the city than I was trying to. So we're just walking through, like, these are all apartments. Apartments, townhouses. That's what we're walking by right now. Let's see, Roselia, cool channel. Found you from the Buff Walk, from Buffalo, New York. Enjoying seeing what Boulder is like. Come visit, yes, that's what I'm saying. Okay, Kelly's saying the road noise not too bad, that's good. The light in the foreground. Let's see, I see a lot of brake lights, apartment building lights. Oh, yeah, what's at the end of this road? That big white square. I don't know what that is. We'll see. That's where we're going. Oh, in the sky. Oh, that's a street lamp. Or it's lens flares from my camera that look like a UFO. But yeah, there's no UFO actually here. I wish there was. That'd be a cool thing to have on the video. So you guys think it's crazy. It would be crazy for Ashton Genty and the other players to just give Travis the Heisman. Is that crazy? Yeah, Kelly, bring the hubby. Boulder, super romantic city. There's, I mean, whatever your interests are, there's something for everybody, I would say. Except for the ocean. You know, we don't have the ocean, but we have lakes. And, you know, it's about 30 minutes from here to get to the Denver airport. And from the Denver airport, you can fly anywhere in the world one way. So many flights leaving the Denver airport every day. The ticket prices are usually better than a lot of the other airports. Yet, you know, you don't ever notice the airport being here in Boulder, being 30 minutes away. But if you need to get somewhere, I'm just saying it's easy to get from the middle of the country, anywhere you need to go back to. But, you know, I love Boulder, but I think the biggest thing for people is that I would just say find your place, because this is so far away from where I grew up, so far away from my family and roots that go back generations and generations. But those places didn't represent me. They were filled with those type of people that I don't like. You know, those good old boy, the type of Mayo Nation that has me making these videos. And so I found my spot in Boulder. That doesn't mean that's where your spot will be, but it might be. And it would be crazy if Coach Prime went beyond football to, like, you know what? I'm going to take over Boulder politically. I'm the boss. I mean, you look at the politicians we have, I'd rather have Deion Sanders than almost anybody. I trust him. I trust that he's not going to make horrible deals that exploit people for his own benefit. That's just not who he is. But you know, he's too smart to probably ever want to be in politics, and that's our loss. But we still point out the difference between him and the people we can't trust, because it matters. And the kids need to know, just like what Kendrick, I mean, that's the whole point of saying they not like us, that repeating it over and over, he's making a point. We should differentiate. We don't differentiate for hate. We point out the hate. And we say, until you stop hating, we got to put the spotlight on you. like those refs, whatever they're up to, man. I feel like same thing with the Heisman, that it's just, but I have to check myself and say maybe I'm biased because of how much I've seen Travis, how much I like Travis as a person, you know, how, like, what a fan I am of the team. But I still feel like the other players need to just give him the trophy. I think that I would feel that way even if he played for Alabama. You know, and no offense to Alabama fans, you guys have had the top tier ride for long enough. I'm just saying, you guys are hateable because you're good. It's no disrespect. It's like, I hate Alabama because they put it to Clemson for so long until Clemson got one. But it's respect, and it's still love as an athlete to say, even if Saban makes me want to punch a hole in the wall, I still got to say he's the GOAT. And that's the same thing for Deion. People who don't even like him need to still say, who I can't criticize him, and he is the GOAT. Or we know they're lying. All right. Those referees, I mean, it's going all the way back to last year. And if I had the time, I would go through every game from last year and this year, and I would make a highlight reel of the referee calls and how they impacted the game. But then there's the other part of my brain that just says, what's the point? Like, that's why it's so frustrating, because we don't even know what we want our resolution to be. No, I'll tell you what I want the resolution to be. I want it to get to where we got AI. We got AI with open source code, so that every decision you can have is open to the public. You can see how the AI determined this was pass interference. And man, we're probably like 5-6 years away from, I'm probably freaking some people out in this chat. This is a different side of Boulder. It's the technology science side. We got Google here. But I mean, we have cameras that are applying the same algorithm. At least to me, that would seem more fair. I know some people would rather have corrupt Mayo Nation good old boy referees than an AI referee. But not me. I'd rather have an AI referee. But short of an AI referee, I don't know how we hold these people accountable. I think that's why Deion just says dominate, dominate, dominate. All you can do is dominate. Like that 4th and 1 where we stuffed them. What are you going to call there? How are you going to cheat us there? I mean, you would think like a play like Jimmy, they're going to try to call holding or something, but they're like, oh, peace sign. Can't do that, young man. He's like, what? How is the peace sign taunting? And okay, you know, maybe I'm being a bit dishonest if I say it's not a bit taunting, but who cares, bro? These are teenage boys. It wasn't harmful. It was playful. And it's just crazy that we don't have any kind of recourse against these people. We just have to take it and watch it, and hopefully, as Coach Prime says, dominate to the point that they can't cheat. But short of that, I don't know. I don't know how to fix it. And that's why it's so frustrating. Because when you have a goal you're working towards, you got something to focus on. But like, we don't even know where to begin with these refs. I don't know about that. I've been working on the railroad as a touchdown song, but that's crazy. Who does that? That's crazy. So the jobs out here are abundant. I don't want to steer anybody the wrong way, but in 15 years of being out here, I've had lots of friends and family and, friends of friends and that kind of stuff move out here from all different places in the country, all different types of jobs. And like, I don't know anybody who has had a trouble finding a job out here. And the wages are higher. Like, people are like, oh, the rent's higher. But I've named off the suburbs for you guys in another video. I'll do it again real quick, just you guys can rewind it. But there's Superior, Louisville, spelled like Louisville, but out here they say Louisville, Westminster, Broomfield, Longmont, Gun Barrel, Arvada, all places super affordable, 20-minute drive, 15-minute drive, 30-minute drive of Boulder, depending where. Most all of those are right in between Boulder and Denver, so you're close to both. And the rent is a little higher, but the wages are way higher. And there's just tons of jobs out here. There's I know musicians that make full-time living, artists, you've got baristas, you got, of course, all the professional level jobs, but you can make money busking on Pearl Street out here. So it's not as hard as like a lot of us thought growing up. Like, oh, I thought I'd never be able to move across the country, but it was the best thing I ever did. But again, it's not that it's necessarily Boulder for everybody. It's just like, find your place where you can feel like Coach Prime. Find your prime place. So this is Pearl Street Mall, guys. Back to the Pearl Street Mall. This is where the Stampede pep rally was. So we're at Pearl and 15th. If you want to follow us on Google, we're at Pearl and 15th. Some special people live down that way. That way that I was just shooting is like apartments and stuff like that. But up here, you can see it changes from road. So it's road, and then it dead ends into this. It's a pedestrian mall. So it's just all walking, restaurants, illegal Pete's, really good burritos. Kelly, I cannot tell you specific yarn supply stores, but I would just be shocked if they didn't, because I've never known Denver and Boulder not to have almost any type of commercial material or, supply that I need. It's just like Denver is a hub in the center of the country for so many industries that they just tend to have warehouses of everything. And I would imagine that there's yarn stores just like, I get good lumber and good hardwood for woodworking and stuff like that. But on and on and on. Colorado is just Denver and Boulder. They just have like all the different stores and all the little things that you need. And I'm just comparing that to where I grew up in the Southeast, where you might have to drive. You might not have what you need in the whole state, put it that way. So yeah, Steffi 33, Kelly, she's right on. Even Pearl Street, where I am right now, several times throughout the year, this whole area will just be filled with vendors, selling crafts. I'll show you guys kind of some of the little shops as we walk by. I don't know if I'm missing them in the chat, but I think nobody's touching my question of whether other players should give Travis the Heisman with a 10-foot pole. That's the question making y'all think I'm crazy, huh? I'm saying, man, I can't speak as a player on their level, but I feel like if I were a player, I would say give it to Travis like Shador did. Okay, No Life King, what am I missing? I'm gonna stop walking. I'm just gonna give you guys a shot down Pearl Street. Tell me what I'm missing. Cause I know the chats disappear off the screen. We could have another Genty next week. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And I mean, I don't want to disrespect him. I just feel like even he's got to know, as great as and as monumental as breaking Barry Sanders' record is, and how that probably would be good enough to win the Heisman any other year, bro, you just happen to be the year that it's Travis Hunter's year. And you just, again, I'm not necessarily qualified to speak on it, but I'm like, I feel like you need to just give it to Travis, man. Do the right thing. Into the Wind, best store on Pearl. Everybody's got their favorite Pearl Street shop because it probably goes, let's see, 1, 2, 3, another 3 or 4 blocks, the mall. All right, down here's the Boulder Theater. I'm just gonna give you guys a shot. You can see the marquee. Boulder Theater gets some good acts. I feel like the Fox is better. The Fox used to be better for hip hop, indie hip hop, underground hip hop. But I just feel like the whole live music scene, and it's probably because I'm getting old, but it just feels like the whole live music scene has gone downhill everywhere in the last 10 years. Some people would probably say longer. Some people would say you're crazy. My favorite artist is popping right now. But music, kind of like food, just like whatever your ingredients, whatever your toppings, whatever your flavors, everybody's got their own. Yeah, No Life King, I hear you. They would be, on one hand, so this is a Colorado-based shop where the buffalo roam. But where we were at the stadium, if you come to Boulder, the official team store where we were at by the stadium, that's where they have like pretty much every piece of apparel that's like officially Colorado. So that's probably where I'd probably go to the official team store, but Pearl Street stores are good too. And sometimes you find different designs in the Pearl Street shops than you would at the team store. But No Life King, yeah, they'd be giving away tons of money, but they've also got to think, like if you're Ashton Genty, Travis is highly likely to win it anyway. So if he wins it anyway, and I don't say anything, then I kind of miss that opportunity to validate, like, hey man, I see it too. He's the best. I got to give it up. And then Travis wins it anyway. But yeah, I mean, that's not as much of a loss as the other scenario, which is he goes ahead and wins it and he gets all the millions of dollars that do come with it. And then he's like, I'm glad I didn't give that MFer to Travis. And the rest of us can just be mad. But I love Shador's answer. Like, and Shador has less to lose. Ashton Genty is going to make a name for himself, but I mean, Shador is piggybacking off, not piggybacking, he's just adding to the GOAT legacy, just increasing the power of the Sanders name. And so it's easier for him. He doesn't need, if I'm looking at it that way, maybe Ashton Genty needs it more than anybody because Travis Hunter and Shador, they seem minted. But we know that, I'm going to knock on wood. The future is not promised to any of us. I'm going to knock on wood and be superstitious, but just say, when Travis said that he would take $40 million to stay again for next season, I'm like, I don't know, Boulder might be able to raise that. There's a lot of $10 million houses in Boulder. 40 for you to stay another year? Is everybody listening? I don't know if everybody heard that when he said, he might have been joking, but man, if I got $40 million in my last year of college football, I might just call it good. I don't know. Them NFL boys hit hard. Travis is definitely about that life as to where, my spine, my bones wouldn't hold up to 5 hits in the NFL. I don't know how they do it. Especially the sub 6 foot guys, which Travis is not, but you got a bunch of the sub 6 foot guys in the NFL. And you just see those hits in person close up, and it is violent. Make no mistake, it is violent. That's why I will always put respect on Shiloh's name. I mean, the way he commits his body is on a different level. No Life King, I hear you. I hear you. I hear the talk increasing more and more from the people who don't want him to win it. And I'm probably just being overly optimistic. Because when I hear that, I'm thinking, okay, even they're having to admit, they're having to see, there's nothing you can say to that nobody has ever done this. And when he keeps making highlights every game, how can anybody say with a straight face, you've got the guy who's doing something that no player in a game that's been being played for over 100 years. How many years? Definitely over 100. That nobody else on a professional level in modern history, recorded history that we can watch video of, has ever done. And it's not just that he's doing it and he's there. He's one of the highest graded players on both sides of the ball every game. So I guess I just don't even understand how the haters can't see it. No Life King. But I hear you, because they do their best. They do their best to talk up Ashton Genty and make it a race. It shouldn't be a race. It's not a race. If it is a race, it's a scam. If it doesn't already have Travis's name on it, it's a scam award. And it just it should lose value. That's how I feel about it. Travis, or I'm not a Heisman fan anymore. Probably too crazy of a super fan point of view, but hey. Travis, Shiloh, LeJohntay all need one thing: more weight and muscle. I fear them taking a hit from Mark Henry. So you see, I don't know how long Shiloh's been working with Coach Mo, but there's a picture of me on the page standing next to Shiloh. And look at Shiloh's shoulders. Shiloh's shoulders are as big as anybody's on the team. And I mean, that's just part of a testament to the type of workouts that just layer muscle on muscle on muscle. I think Shiloh has the size for the NFL. When I stand beside Travis, I feel like I could tackle Travis. And that to me is crazy. I'm like, how am I and don't get it twisted. He is absolutely jacked. He just has the thinner frame with less layers of muscles. His shoulders aren't like he's got softballs under his shirt. You know, he's ripped. Shiloh's got more of that like thickness and the layers is what I'm saying. But I just wonder how long Coach Mo's been working with Shiloh versus Travis is twice as thick as he was last year. Like seeing Travis last year up close and then seeing him this year, seems like there's a whole nother layer of him on the outside, but you still worry about NFL size hits. I don't feel that way when I stand next to Shiloh. He's not super tall, but that dude is strong. You can tell he's been pushing weight his entire life. I wonder what age Shiloh started working out, because that's the only one in that list that I disagree with. LeJohntay, only been with Coach Mo for a year. Definitely needs, and again, needs with an asterisk, because who am I to say? I was, I saw Hunter Renfrow at Clemson, and I was like, Hunter Renfrow will never go to the NFL. Even after that Alabama catch, I was like, nah. Like, I love my guy. I'm a huge fan. He's basically my size, so he like proved to me, nah, bro, it is possible. You just didn't do it. But Hunter Renfrow did it. But then, he's in the NFL, and Shiloh would twist Hunter Renfrow into a pretzel from standing next to both of them. I wouldn't say that about Travis. I wouldn't say that about LeJohntay. I just hope Coach Mo has the magic formula, because when I see their fitness, their endurance, they're in better shape than all the teams they're playing. Physically, Coach Mo has them boys tuned. But if you're adding muscle the natural way, you're not using steroids, you're just using protein, it takes 10 years of eating the right amount of protein and the right timing of exercises to get to your peak level of musculature. So, you know, Shiloh's older too. Older than LaJonte, older than Travis. But Shador has that same thickness as Shiloh, where you just stand next to them and you're like, I don't know if I could tackle him if he wasn't looking. Like if he wasn't looking and I blindsided him, he might be able to resist the tackle kind of dude. All right, y'all. That's the stream. We went longer than I thought we were tonight. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. If you want to follow on the map, we're ending at Spruce and Broadway. And next week is a bye week, so we're not going to have a game analysis to do or a post-game analysis. But then, who we got? Utah? I think we got Utah after that. And then Texas Tech, or do I have that backwards? But, you know, we're going to keep the videos coming with the Coach Prime news. Subscribe if you haven't. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. Love to Buffs Nation. Love to the Coach Prime Sanders fans all around the world. Let's go Buffs!